Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a whole new episode of Full Steam Ahead. I'm your host, Zoe, with my other guy on the other side, Mr. Cantu. How we
Howdy.
doing? How
We're
we
doing
doing?
good. We're doing good. Like we just came back from enemy country this past week. I came
Ooh,
back from Dallas, but for a friend's wedding. But I actually wore my Astros 2017 World Series shirt when we are touring Dallas.
look at you. Look at you showing it off. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of Ranger fans over there, though, in Arlington wearing their 23 World Series gear.
Oh yeah, there's Ranger signs everywhere now. What used to be the Cowboys logos has been replaced with the Astros logo.
Astros or Rangers?
I'm sorry, Rangers logo. My bad.
I'm about saying because
Yeah.
the Astros did do pretty well with there in Arlington this year in the regular season and even in the playoffs. But that one win will continue to haunt the Astros' history throughout the years from 2019 all the way to 2023. But hey, it is a hump day right now, Wednesday. We are recording this episode. Of course, if you're listening to us the next day, which majority of you are, Thursday. Happy Thursday. Terrific Thursday, throwback Thursday. Last day for majority of school kids, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're a teacher. I think there's some kids ending on Friday, but hey, it is Christmas time. We got the Christmas hat. We got Christmas orbit right here with the
Oh,
reindeer.
nice. I
And
like
of
that.
course, Christmas is here. The New Year's almost here. So we got to bust this thing out. Of course, we'll have our Astros roundup. A lot of things to discuss. Money management from Jim Crane, the future of the Astros, and their spending for potential free agents that are going to be happening, like Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve. We'll get with that a little bit. Astros Christmas wish list. We did say the last episode we're going to have a wish list prepared, and we do. So continue to hear that. Of course, we have some players that made it to the All-MLB Second-Team. And then, of course, last but not least, what is the stove cooking in the offseason? But, Angel, let's start off with Astros and the money situation going around because, the Astros been trying to figure out what they're going to do in the winter, if they're going to spend a lot, if they're going to go trade. Well, they only signed Victor Caratini for 12 million, and then they did a trade. So that was really about it. Dana Brown had even said that they don't see themselves spending a lot this offseason. Of course, you got to think about the future. Like we are saying with Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Framber Valdez, Kyle Tucker. There's going to be a lot of guys that are, that are here for this season, but could potentially not be here for the future of the Astros. Of course, there's been rumors with Framber Valdez. A lot of teams been contacting the Astros about him, but to me personally, I don't see the Astros trading him away. So let's get with the real quick with Ken Rosenthal's article. He said, and I quote, one agent in contact with the Astros says club officials are signaling the money is an issue. Money is an issue. And of course, per Chandler Rome's article, if you've seen that with Jim Crane, this is what he said. He quotes, we've been right at the cap in 1 year. We were over. This is what Jim Crane said following the 2021 season. He said, thankfully, because we have great fans and great sponsors, our revenues were good this year. The budget will be at the top of baseball. I don't think but one or two teams were over last year. We were over the previous year, but right under this year will be right in that range. And if you remember, Angel, at a time, I believe it was in 2021 or 2022, that Jim Crane had told the media, he's like, the fans pay the bills, and we, as I'm saying, we as it's saying the Astros, write the checks. Obviously, when he says write the checks, you're thinking about, oh, okay, well, he's gonna go sign this guy. He's gonna sign another big free agent. He's gonna re-sign the Astros players that we have now, from George Springer, from Carlos Correa. Actually, George Springer was gone at that time, but Correa for sure. Of course, with Bregman, Altuve, all these other guys. You know, everybody was like, okay, we're on board. Jim Crane's ready to spin. Let's do it. We're over here doing our part of, buying merchandise, going to the concession stands, and all these other things, and ticket prices as well. Because, of course, through the years, ticket prices have gone up. The nosebleeds from, I believe it was like $9 a ticket at the time went to like 19, and then it's like almost like at 22, $23 a ticket, which will be interesting what opening day looks like.
To
Because
this day, I do remember. To this day, I still remember looking at a ticket stub, right? Because you used to have to ticket stubs, and it had $1 on
yeah,
it for the upper decks. Like it was that crazy.
that was back when, there was hardly any fans in the seats though.
Hmm.
But of course, I do Wish the Astros would continue to sell ticket stubs at the ticket windows.
That'd be nice.
Stubs, they commemorate different, accomplishments. Yordan Alvarez 100th home run from this year. Framber Valdez's no hitter. You can have that to show that you were there. And obviously now you really can, because now you got to buy a commemorative ticket, and that costs about like $20. So I don't like that part. But anyway, back to the money situation. The Astros payroll in 2023 wasn't bad. It was top 10 with 192,667,233, and that was by USA Today. As currently right now in the Astros payroll in 2024, Spot Track has it as the Astros sixth in Major League Baseball with 188,148,141. Obviously, it went a little low there, but hey, I mean, still there. And of course, we got to continue with the CBT talk, of course, and all this other stuff. But real quick, we have it right here. And this was on the Athletic of Ken Rosenthal's article. And as you see right here through the years, the Astro CBT payroll since 2019. 2019, you had $203,750,149, ranked fifth. 2020, it was ranked second. 2021 was ranked seven. 2022 was ranked nine. And that's current, well, not currently, but 2023, it was ranked 13th. So, Angel, my question to you, because I think all the Astros fans want to see, the management being spent. They want to see money spent into great players. They want to see players get an extension that we're not going to name, but they want that. And they need an answer because they're trying to figure out, okay, well, what's Jim Crane's theory? What is his logic? What is he going to do? Are we spending, or are we like taking away, not so called the dynasty, but is that baseball era of Astros baseball gone, and just got to look into the future of building through the farm system? So, what do you think about the Astros money management at this point? And do we expect any changes in their spending this year, the next, the future? What do you say?
I don't think eh, their spending. I don't think it'll change. I think it'll stay the same. And a big part of that is that since they lost AT&T Sportsnet, it was a buyout.
Mhm.
Now they're losing 73 million per year as well because of that, because of the broadcasting right fees and stuff like that. And then this is for Michael Schwab. He said with owning their own network with the Astros and Space City Network, the Astros will most likely only get close to 50 million per year from this channel as it starts. So, they, yes, like you want the Astros to sign these big time players, but then there's also internal issues that you don't really see into light. Like like you said, right? The fans pay the bills. They got, so I'm sure they leave those lights on as well at Minute Maid Park, and now with the programming issues that's going on, I think that really hits the Astros hard because it limits them for maybe they making a run. At Jordan Hicks for that too, because he's seeking 200, like about what was it, 27 a
I
year?
believe so.
Yeah, like around there, about 27 a year, and it's just hard to compete with that when you have all these expenditures coming. Now, could they adjust? Yes. Might the fans be kind of like get that end of the bargain? Yes, like maybe more expensive food, more sponsorships, right? So there's possibilities to bypass that, but I don't think Jim Cray will go over the threshold. I don't think he wants those fines. So I think those. To answer your question, I think those spending, like the way they actually have been spending in the last few years is going to stay to that.
I agree. I mean, and you made a great point with the coverage with the network. I mean, you've seen Bally right now, what they're going through with the Rangers having to find a new home. I believe Arizona, San Diego, they got to find new homes because of the money from Bally, and then the Astros as well with AT&T. Now they got the Space City home network. They're losing a lot of revenue right there. And as of like you were saying, Jim Crane isn't that guy to hand out big extensions like 10-year plus over a lot of money and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, you see a lot of teams doing this. I mean, it's very conservative. If you look at the Braves, how they spend their money and how they give out contracts over there. I mean, as soon as they see a guy that's pretty good, right there and then they give him an extension. You see that with the Brewers. You've seen that with the Mariners. You've seen that with the Diamondbacks. So I don't see Jim Crane going anywhere but staying the same. I think he's just going to remain the same, even though a lot of fans, a lot of Astro fans specifically want to see difference. They want to see him go get the big time guys, but at the same time too, they go get the big time guys. You got to look at the future. You don't re-sign Jose Altuve. You don't possibly re-sign one of the other free agents from 2025. No, yeah, 2025. Kyle Tucker and Framber Valdez. So it's like right now you got to be smart with the long run. Just look how the Dodgers did last year. They didn't spend no money at all, and for that reason is because they went to go get Shohei Ohtani.
I caught that. I
And
remember.
you did call that. So fans shouldn't really see any optimistic of Jim Crane spending a lot, but you never know what can happen at this point. It's just looking like it's just going to stay the same, and the fans are just going to have to get through it. Nothing but that.
Yeah, and now I could see this in the future. Like I feel like if Jim Crane sees the Astros can't compete with these teams that are spending big, like say the Mets or the Dodgers or even the Yankees, right? Then I can see a little bit, not like a desperate move, but like a more like, all right, I gotta spend, right?
Hmm.
So then, if that happens, then I feel that's when things will change. But again, like, the Astros were one win away from the World Series last year, and they're going to be in the postseason this year. So I think that urgency button in Jim Crane's dance is still put up somewhere, stowed in the closet, right? Because there's no need for it now. If he sees the season going downhill, maybe you know, maybe in the trade deadline spend something or sign a guy, but or even next year after that. But right as of right now, I don't see things changing.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, they're top 10 as we are saying with the CBT. I don't see the payroll going anywhere. Plus, like you said, they still got a competitive team. One win away from the World Series, from a third consecutive World Series. They've done it. They've done this since Springer has left, since Correa has left, since Garrett Cole, Charlie Moore, and a bunch of guys that were key parts of
Correa,
those Astro. Yeah, Correa. I mean, the Astros runs through the years in the playoffs. 7 consecutive appearances in the ALCS. There's really no panic. It's just at the end of the day, the Astros got to stay healthy. A lot of the injury bug really plagued that roster and that team last year in 23. And if they have a healthy team going into 24 all the way down to October, then you could possibly see the Astros back in the World Series. And like most likely could be in the ALCS. But like you're saying, if Jim Crane sees a lot of these other teams spending a lot and going after these guys, maybe there is a change that he'll do in the future. But as of right now, like you were saying, I agree. I just don't see it happening until that day comes along. So we'll move on with the Astros and money management, and we'll move into the Astros having 2 players making the All MLB second team. Obviously, this past weekend was the All MLB team show. You got first team selections, second team selections, and 2 Astros made the All MLB second team. Yordan Alvarez was the DH for the second team, while Kyle Tucker was the outfielder selected to the All MLB second team. Alvarez was selecting his 4th career All MLB selection, while Kyle Tucker selected to his 3rd consecutive All MLB team. Jim Crane, I think it's time to get this guy his
yeah,
check.
start opening that wallet.
Yeah, because 3 in a row, back to back times going into the All Star, almost a 30-30, which should be petitioned, but of course, MLB won that. But in our eyes, 30-30. And then, of course, World Series champion. This guy is special, 5-tool player. Let's get that book going.
Yeah,
Open that book.
and honestly, I know you were telling me in off air, and I do agree with you that they put Shohei Ohtani for starting pitcher and DH. I think it was either or, and I think that
Yeah.
that could have gave uh, Yordan the first team All MLB, and I know you weren't happy with that. I know you told me on there, so I agree with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's either or for me. I mean, no offense to Shohei Ohtani, once in a generation player. You haven't seen a guy like that since Babe Ruth. But come on. Let's give another guy a shot because I will never forget. I think it was in 21 for the All Star game. Shohei Ohtani and JD Martinez were the guys for the DH. And Yordan was having a great year in 2021 and left him off the All Star ballot. Well, the roster, really. So, yeah, I just didn't like it. I mean, Shohei did have a great offensive year, but come on, Yordan Alvarez. I think he could have been a great selection for that All MLB first team. So happens, just
Yeah,
happens.
I agree with you.
But of course, the title in the episode 148 is Astros Christmas Wish List. So we did have to make a Christmas wish list. What do we want to see the Astros do during the last month of December all the way to spring training? So without further ado, let's present the Astros Christmas wish list. And Angel, we'll start off with yours, my man. Give us your three, and we even have a little bonus, that little cookie tray with some milk, for Santa Claus. I think that's our bonus right there to the fans. So start it off, Angel.
Since we were on the topic of healthy, having players healthy, I'm gonna start with my third one, which is starting pitcher Lance McCullers has a healthy season. Now, everybody knows what the issue was for the Astros this past season, and the reason why they cannot make it to the World Series is they couldn't win at home. I'm sorry, on the road,
Yeah.
right? No, actually at home. My bad. My bad.
Well, it
I made a
was at
mistake.
home.
At
Yeah. I
home,
think
yeah,
I think the Astros only lost one game on the road.
yeah, at home. I apologize. You are right.
Actually, no, okay, sorry. Everybody, they did not lose one game on the road in the playoffs.
No, they did not. They did
They
not.
did
That
not.
was on my fault. That was
Yep.
my fault. Because I had my topic right. No, they could not win at home. Well, guess who loves pitching at Minute Maid Park? Lance McCullers Jr. So I think if a healthy Lance McCullers, this is going back, just looking at the numbers. This is 2020, looking at his home and road splits. Um, in the year 2020, it was a shortened season. At home, he was 3-0 with a 1.42 ERA. Away games, 0-3 with a 7.33 ERA. Look, let's look at 2021 at home, 6-3 with a 3.51 ERA, and it's a small sample size in 2022 because of the injury. But at home, he was 2-1 with a 1.50 ERA. When you can get a great quality start from Lance McCullers, especially at home, I think that's a difference maker there because
Yeah.
it was again, it was just that one win at home. Once Lance McCullers start, especially in the postseason, he gets a little amped up when he hears that Houston crowd. I think that's a. I think you make you may could be looking at a back-to-back World Series championship for the Astros at that point. And then my, which was the first one was Astros make a trade for Chicago's White Sox starting pitcher Dylan Cease and outfielder Luis Roberto Jr. as well. Now, just having that Cuban connection there, like
Oh yeah.
just imagine Luis Robert at center, maybe a little sprinkle in Yordan Alvarez at left. You got Kyle Tucker in right. That's just magnificent, especially that lineup. That
Chef's
lineup's gonna
kiss.
be yeah, exactly, a chef kiss. So, and then just to help out the rotation as well, because that's always a question mark. I feel like for the Astros staying healthy wise, right? That rotation, and when you can never have too many arms. Dylan Cease is a great one. I know he had a up and down season this past year, but you know what, like you've seen what he can do, and he can do great things there. And then lastly, could could Astros have a money making TV station? That shouldn't be an issue, but it is. 2020, 2023 issues. But that's what my three wishes. And for my bonus one, you know what? I'm gonna give Santa Claus a little extra sweetness in those cookies because the Astros need to. Hopefully, they get their third World Series championship. They already cemented the dynasty, but now even leaving no question about the Astros dynasty this in these golden years.
Yep. 2017, 2019, 2021, 2022. 4 World Series appearances. They've only won 2.
Okay.
They could win 3. They could have won 3 in 2019, but we are not going to go over that. That is just for a different day. But let's go with mine real quick. I mean, I love the Christmas list that you put out. I mean, Luis Robert Jr. and Dylan Cease and an Astros rotation with Justin Verlander, Framber Valdez. Oh my God. You're looking at 2019 vibes right there. And then plus with
Stacked.
Luis Robert Jr. in center field, which most likely you would probably have to give up Chas McCormick.
Yeah.
But I mean, Luis Robert Jr., my gosh,
I,
the guy has some power on him.
I remember we were covering that game and with the White Sox when Luis Robert was like robbing home runs, jumping fences. Like it was like if you hit it in center field, it was an out, no matter where it was hit. Like it's
The guy
crazy.
could cover some ground. No
Yeah,
offense to Chas McCormick. He could do.
he
He's
can
a
hold his
dog out
own.
there too.
Yeah,
He's a dog out there. But Luis Robert Jr. That's a different breed. That is a different breed. Love some Chazzy Fizz, but between him and Luis Robert Jr., which I'm pretty sure if you put it on Baseball Reference, there's could be some debate about it. I'm honestly leaning towards Luis Robert Jr. But anyway, yeah, and then Lance McCullers Jr. too. That one, Astros fans really want a healthy LMJ since that contract he had signed as an extension for the Astros. But love the list. Hopefully, Santa gets those wish lists and those gifts correctly for you. But let's move on to mine real quick. My first one: could the Astros sign right-handed pitcher and Houstonian Side Creek alum on the Cypress side of Houston, Texas? That is northeast of Houston, no, northwest of Houston, Texas.
Mhm.
Jordan Hicks. I would love to see this guy in an Astros uniform. The
he's
guy
got a good
brings some
arm.
heat. Yeah, the guy brings some heat. Real quick, last year, 65 games. He had a 3.9 record, 3.29 ERA, had 81 strikeouts, a 1.36 whip. And then just let's go over the percentiles that he presented on Baseball Savant. Fastball run value is at 11, which is the 87 percentile, which is great. And then not to mention the xERA, the X batting average, 333 with the xERA, 210 opponent batting average for the X batting average line. And of course, the fastball velo. When you think of Jordan Hicks, you're thinking of 100 plus automatically. The guy, I believe, had threw 105 miles per hour fastball, I want to say.
Are you
But
right?
yeah, but the fastball velo is there, 100 percentile, averages at 100.1.
Oof.
Got a fastball like that, my gosh, that is just hard for a hitter to recognize the off speed and then 100 plus fastball coming at you.
And then the thing with Jordan Hicks, it's not a straight fastball. It's that two seamer too. So it's that
It
running
tells.
action. Yeah.
It just tells on you. And then not to mention real quick, who doesn't love ground ball percentages like Framber Valdez? Jordan Hicks is up there with him with a 96 percentile, 58.9% of the time he gets a ground ball into the infield. And when you have an infield behind you like the Astros, my gosh. Why wouldn't you want the ball to be on the ground for you at that time in a really hard situation too? So Astros, Santa, if you're listening to me up there in the North Pole, please figure a way out. Even though it is a lot of money, like you were saying, Angel, like 20 something million, try to figure something out. I think Jordan Hicks replacing Hector Neris or even Hector Neris coming back to the Astros, I think that'd be a great combo. Next, the Astros, and we've talked about this in the beginning of the show almost. Kyle Tucker. The Astros need to sign Kyle Tucker to a contract extension. Can we see it happen? Yes. Can it happen before spring training? Yes. But time is ticking. And this past year, like we were talking about the numbers, he had a great year, almost a 30-30 season for him. He's just going to get better. He's just going to get better. And if the Astros don't find a way to get that contract going before, it could happen during the season like Yordan Alvarez. But I think Astros fans and I think the baseball front office for the Astros and Kyle Tucker, including himself, would rather have that extension talk and get it done before spring training. So, Jim Crane, like we said about this before, let's open the pocketbooks, man. Let's open it up. I think Kyle Tucker would love to see that happening. But last but not least, can the Astros? I wish the Astros would wear multiple throwback uniforms this coming season. I would love to see a tequila sunrise sleeve jersey on that Astros field. I would love to see a rainbow on the Astros field. Throw me some 90s uniform. I was born in the 90s. I wouldn't mind seeing that gold star out there with that navy blue uniform. Or maybe go back in time when we just started watching Astros baseball to the brick red uniforms, to the pinstripe black Astro jerseys with the black hat. I wouldn't mind seeing that on the field. It's been a while. I think if I can remember, I would say 2021 was the last time the Astros presented a throwback uniform on the field. If it's not 21, it was in 2019. But I would love to see some throwback unis on the
Like that.
field. This past year they've worn the Negro Leagues Eagles, the Houston Eagles.
Mhm.
I didn't mind that. That was phenomenal. That looked fantastic on the field with the KC Monarchs. But Angel, if you had to decide on a jersey, man, which one would you go with?
You know what? I'm like between the Tequila Sunrise jerseys. I've always liked those, and then also the navy with the golden star. I really like those too.
Can't go wrong with none of those, honestly, dude. I mean, the history through the uniform, from the Astros era has been phenomenal. From the gold not from the gold, but the shooting star, the Colt 45 jerseys, the cream jersey with the tequila sunrise on the sleeve, and then the rainbow. I mean, the Astros have had some phenomenal uniforms throughout their history as an organization. And I would just love to see one of those uniforms on the field at Minute Maid Park, maybe for Hall of Fame weekend. I would love to see that, go back in time, since all these historical players that wore the Astros jersey presented on the field for those guys.
Speaking of like the wonderful Astros uniform they have, because I agree with you, they've had some great Astros uniform. Do you think the ones they wear now are like a downgrade, or you think, or you like them evenly, like there's no scale?
I like them evenly. I would go with this. The evenly part for them jerseys, I would go with like the 2000 era. I would go with the pinstripe and the brick red, the road gray. I
As a
think
downgrade, I'm
those,
sorry.
as not a downgrade, but as in the same kind of grade level, I guess you could say,
Okay.
because it's not their best uniform. I do like the orange jersey. I do like the navy blue alternate with the rainbow on the side of their jerseys. But I mean, when you go against the tequila sunrise sleeve, the cream, the gold star, oh man, yeah, it's hard not to choose those jerseys over these as of right now.
Oh, I get that.
But last but not least, like Angel said, he wanted to put something in Santa's cookies. Well, I'm gonna throw some sprinkles on the top because this is happening in 2024. I would love not the Astros, but the Baseball Hall of Fame to get closer, left-handed pitcher throwing 100 plus with a nasty slider, Billy the Kid Wagner into the Hall of Fame this year. Love to see it, even if it's barely over that 75% threshold. The guy deserves it. He's on the numbers with Mario Rivera, Trevor Hoffman, one of the two of the best closers in the game, and of course, I don't know if you saw MLB Network's Prime Nine. They've been doing that a little bit more lately with ranking each position. Craig Biggio was on there, Jeff Bagwell was on there. Well, even on the closers, Billy Wagner was on the list with uh, a bunch of closers in the Hall of Fame as of right now. So find a way, find a way to get him in. Keep voting.
Yeah, and I'm actually looking at the tracker now.
I think he's barely beneath the 70%.
69%.
Nice, nice.
69%. So I don't know.
Still,
Again,
still got a lot of ballots out there to fill out.
how many
I think
do you,
there's only been what 39,
I believe so. How many ballots is there in total?
200 something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So he has some time. I think right now Beltray, Helton, and
I
Mauer.
got it right here. So it's Joe Mauer, 82%, Todd Helton, 86%, Agent Belche could be unanimous, 100%.
I think he is unanimous though.
You think so too?
Honestly,
Right now, those are the only three that would be um, indicted if it ended today. So
get him
yeah,
in. Get him in.
there's still a few more to go, but some already, like some people already brought out their bandits, but instead of winning, uh, Billy Hamlin, Billy Wagner in. Sorry, again,
Billy
long day
Hamlin.
at school. These kids are wild, and
I believe it. Draining you out, man. You could just see right there.
no, but yeah,
Shout out to all the teachers out there too for doing these things for the kids, for especially during the Christmas time, but even throughout the whole year. Shout out to y'all.
no, but so if you like, if someone to ask you in the street and say, "Hey, does Billy Wagner get in this year?" Is it a yes or no? Realistically,
I had to say no.
okay,
It'd be just barely under 75 though. I'd say that 73 or 74, if anything.
okay. And then before we move over to around the league, did you see that post that BR Bleacher Report posted on the Framber Valdez trade
Yes,
destination?
yes. They're just trying to get clicks at this point.
I think so too. I don't think he gets traded. But
Nope.
did you see who were the top two landing spots? I don't know if you saw those.
I'm throwing a guess. I'd haven't, but I did see like something out there that would Bleacher Report. But the teams, I'm gonna go with Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees.
It was actually the Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, and the San Francisco Giants as top three. But
Not bad.
you would have been right. Because you said the Dodgers and Yankees, right?
Yeah.
They were 9 and 10 on that list. So
Oh, so I had it backwards then, basically.
yeah, but I mean, I think so too. I think it's just like clickbait trying to get you to do it. But again, I don't think Framber Valdez is getting traded.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Now, the MLB is rounding out uh their season awards. Yeah, they were still waiting on the Hall of Fame, but they've had the NL Hank Aaron Award given and the AL Hank Aaron Award given as well, and that is Ronald Acuna Jr. and Shohei Ohtani. I think that was a no-brainer for
Yeah,
that
I
one.
think that was like
Yes.
no shocking. I was like, oh yeah, that he's the Hank Aaron Award winner. Yeah, no, I knew that from the top of the get go.
Now, some interesting news, like we talked about last podcast, Shohei Ohtani is deferring $2 million. I was like $68 million, and is getting paid $2 million a year for the Dodgers can be competitive throughout his time there. So what do? We talked about there's rumors that Tyler Glasnow could have been a Dodger, and it's came true. The Dodgers will receive right-handed pitcher Tyler Glasnow and outfielder Manuel Margot from the Rays in exchange for right-handed pitcher Ryan Peapot and Johnny DeLuca. I'm not gonna lie, that's a pretty good pickup by the Rays.
Yeah,
Like I think
totally agree.
I don't know. I'm not gonna say they won the trade yet because I want to see what Tyler Glass now does. But at this point, again, it's looking like the Rays won that trade, and I'll go into that in a little bit. Because after that, after they signed him, again, the trade would only come true. What only happen is if the Dodgers can reach an extension with Glass now, and it does, and they did a 4-year, $110 million extension, in addition to the $25 million he will earn in 2024. Before I ask you, is it a good move for the Dodgers? Yes or no? Let me run you by some numbers. So
Go ahead.
Tyler Glasnow has been hit with the injury bug, and Astros are no stranger to that. So in 2023, coming back from I believe his second Tommy John, he pitched 120 innings. He was he had a WHIP of 1.83, and he allowed and a 3.53 ERA. That was 21 games started. In 2022, he pitched only 6.2 innings. That in 2022, 2021, 88 innings. 2020, 51 innings. 2019, 60 innings. So, and then to go even further in 2018, 55 innings.
I thought that was Jacob Degrom's numbers right there for a
Now,
second.
the most innings he's ever thrown was in 2023, 120. The second closest to that, you have to go back to 2018 when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
111 innings.
But what was the record on that?
111 innings. He was 2 wins, 7 losses, a 4.27 ERA, and with a WHIP of 1.272. So that's a pretty high WHIP as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think this was a good extension for for the Dodgers? Now seeing those innings pitched throughout the years and his track record for like his injury record as well.
The injury record just shows right there. I mean, he hasn't pitched a healthy season at all. But there is hope for that Dodger organization because he goes to a team that has players like Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, 3 MVPs right there I just named. So the offensive production is going to be there for him to get at least some wins in his record book. But the ERA, the WHIP, um, the FIP too as well. That's gonna have to put into play, but that's gonna count on Glasnow himself. Maybe a change of scenery would go great for him, like how he was in Pittsburgh. Uh, After he got traded from Pitt to Tampa Bay, he looked a little better over there. But man, I mean, he's been injured every year. I will say this: there will be one season though he won't be hurt. I think one of the 4 seasons he won't be hurt. and Dodger fans better hope that this trade and this extension really goes well, especially Otani, since he deferred that 68 million, 2 million for them to go be competitive and go trade and try to extend and sign some players because they're still in the Yamamoto sweepstakes still,
Hmm.
and people believe that he's not going to sign until uh, after Christmas to the January 4th deadline. I think he has. So I think, like you were saying, I do think this is maybe a win for the Rays because what's his name, Pepuat.
Pep, what isn't that?
Yeah, I think he has a lot of upside.
Yeah, he looked
He's
pretty good.
young. Yeah, he's young. Good prospect from the Dodger farm system. Um, I think it's a great trade for the Rays, but for the Dodgers, on the other hand, I think it could be a win-win if Glass now can stay healthy.
Yeah, and then career wise, he has 8 years in the major leagues. 8 years. He's won 30 games and lost 27.
It's
And
not a
it's
bad record. Not a bad record.
yeah, I mean, like
Could
the
be better.
most. Yeah, but I'm saying 8 years for a starting pitcher, and
Yeah.
that's the record. Like maybe a bullpen guy. Okay, I can see that.
Or maybe a guy that goes 5 innings and then you just bring him out
Yeah.
and bring a long reliever in, kind of thing.
No, yeah, and then like the most wins he had in his career was last year, um, which was 10. And I mean, he's 29, right? I get it. Like like 29 doesn't mean like you're bad at baseball at this point, right? It's just he's got hit with the injury
Yeah.
bug, but again, it's a risky move by the Dodgers. But when you have a guy that for that much money, I think you have room to be risky. Like I don't think the
Yeah.
Astros have room to be risky because they're just
No.
so they have to pay so many guys. We just talked about the money situation, but knowing the Dodgers, they have money for days. Apparently. So, and I mean for like big news, that's pretty much it. I mean, we do have some offseason signings as well. Pittsburgh Pirates agreed and signed outfielder Andrew McCutcheon. The
The
Cut
Kutch.
is coming back to the Jolly Roger for 1 year, $5 million contract. I like the move. I like the move. I really do. A veteran presence
Retires
at
as
the
a
plate.
pirate.
Yeah, I think so. I think I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last season in pitch like overall in the major
Yeah.
leagues, and I'm thinking of like a Carlos Beltran type of role. Where he's like that veteran presence, helping the young guys out as well. So I like it. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is your guy. This is a guy you thought the Astros could make a run at. Well, he stays in Arizona. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to a three. Arizona signed him to a 3 year, $42 million contract. Club option for 2027 is 14 million. Now, I know the Astros are down in the dumps for money, but I think that's a manageable contract. Wouldn't you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, but I think they're just trying to save as much as they can for that Altuve. I think they're just looking for the future of the guys that's in the organization right now than guys like Gurriel, which Gurriel is a great player. He has ties to Houston. His
Hmm.
brother was here, but I mean, understandable. It could have been managed, but great move by the D-backs.
They're getting better and better. Watch out for the D-backs. I think they got
Still not done either.
yeah, they got some money to spend. And then the Kansas City Royals, a team that was lost over 100 games, they're trying to be competitive this year again. Like I feel like every episode we're talking about them signing somebody, and that trend continues. But they signed Michael Walker to a 2 year, $32 million contract, and they signed Hunter Renfro to a 1 year, $13 million contract. And I think this is like Hunter Renfro's 15 and 6 years, something
Something
like
like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's been passed around more. Never mind, I'll stop there. So. The Detroit Tigers signed Jack Flaherty to a 1 year, $14 million contract. I know he was a St. Louis product. Baltimore Orioles tried to change his luck around, could not find a new home with the Detroit Tigers, and could be AJ Hinch,
Extension too for
yeah,
AJ.
went out there, so could be. And then Texas Rangers, I think this was a good move for them.
Definitely.
I think this is
Definitely.
a good move, and it's just
Even
like,
though this is an Astros podcast. Oh man, I think it was a decent, great move, like you're saying. But go ahead.
it's I'm gonna butcher his last name, but Tyler
Molly.
Molly, there you go. Molly to a 2 year, $22 million. Again, I think this is a manager one the Astros could have handled too. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I think like he had a pretty decent season, and now, but now with a competitive team, just I like that one.
And he was with a competitive team with the Twins, but then he had that injury happen to him. But I mean, I think he's a decent arm. He's only 28 years old.
Still has a
and
lot more.
he pitched really well with Cincinnati in
Hmm.
2021. So,
Yeah.
and then with Max Scherzer off the rotation for a little from that surgery,
Hmm.
I think this is a good move.
Yeah, and then sometimes it's not about signing those big stars. It's finding like it's basically more like finding like your pieces to the puzzle instead. Like sometimes just like you know maybe that I forgot and I already forgot his name. The guy they signed off the bullpen, the Astros did
From what year?
this year.
Oh, Souza, is it?
No, not
Oh no,
Souza.
or Coleman,
Coleman. Yeah, you
Dylan
see,
Coleman.
like sometimes like the small signs can be big. So I don't. I mean, maybe the Astros saw something, but I don't know.
But that was a trade though.
Yeah, that was a trade. But I'm saying like this guy could be like that little missing piece of the puzzle that
Yeah, I agree.
that you need. So I mean, I wish Astros could have got him. Hate that it went to the Rangers, but they want to win another one. And then lastly, another Jeter in the Bronx. This time, the Yankees claim top prospect Jeter Downs off waivers from the Nationals. Surprisingly, if you don't recall, this is Jeter Downs was actually traded to the Red Sox for the Mookie Betts deal in 2020. Him and Alex Verdugo came, and now Red Sox have lost both of them. Tough times over there
Dude, that
in
trade just
Fenway.
looks bad now.
Yeah, tough times. Do you know why they? Like I didn't do my research. I should have, but you know why they waived him? I mean, they're just like one of their top prospects.
Well, he was a top prospect, obviously, with the Dodgers. I don't know why they waived him, but of course, too, remember, I think he was waived off by the Red Sox, and then
Hmm.
obviously, too, now with the Nationals, maybe he finds something in New York. He has that Jeter name in him. Derek Jeter could probably possibly give him some tips and regain that top prospect that he once was.
Speaking of Verdugo, did you see that picture of him without
Doesn't
the
look
beard?
good. Just does not look good. The Verdugo beard is a must. And I think I think that tradition with the Yankees, at least for me, in my opinion, I think that tradition of being clean cut with only maybe a mustache, no beard, nothing like that. I just don't like
It's
that.
outdated for sure. Yeah,
I just don't like it.
I don't know. Like I feel like he looks like a 13-year-old kid that he's like trying to he's where's my hug at, kid? Just like I don't know. He looks off on that one.
Yep. But that is the end of our show. Of course, this is December 20th on a Wednesday night. If you're listening to us, which a majority of y'all are going to be listening to us on a Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, um, have a safe and great Merry Christmas. Of course, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And Joe, y'all have anything going on y'all usually do every Christmas?
I think this year my uncle wants to do like a giant pajama sleepover type of
Oh,
thing
yeah.
at their house. So we'll see how it goes. We usually don't do that, but I mean,
Well, we did that at a time. We did
oh, did you?
yeah, me and my wife did a Grinch kind of theme,
Okay.
pajamas at least. So that's cool.
No, yeah, it's like we already bought our son his little outfit is a little
Oh,
green,
his first Christmas.
yeah,
His first Christmas.
green and black little check plaid little shirt. Looks really nice.
That's cool, dude. Can't wait to see the pics. But everybody else, like we were saying, have a safe and great Merry Christmas. Of course, we didn't say in the beginning of the podcast, but you see our banner below, our ticker below, actually. Follow us wherever you get us Twitter,
All right, let's go.
TikTok,
Let's
Twitter, TikTok, of course, FSA Full Steam Ahead on Instagram, and then follow us wherever you get your podcast from Google to Apple to Spotify. Of course, our YouTube channel. If you're watching this, subscribe, hit that subscribe button, get the latest news from us. But other than that, Angel, you got anything else before we sign off?
No, just happy holidays. Hopefully you guys spend it well, safe, and thank you for listening. It's been kind of slow, so we need we need to tell your friends, come hear us. You know, we got you in the off season, not just during the regular season as well.
Yeah, a lot to come up for the next year, which the next year is just upon us. It is just upon us. After this episode, we have one more before the new year, and of course, we'll be ready for 2024. But until then, y'all stay safe. Have a blessed and safe Christmas out there. Happy holidays to everybody. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace.